Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jersey Boy Sports Talk, the only show that wants you to enjoy your wild card weekend. So we are bringing you the first ever podcast of our show. I'm Nick Bogatis, along here with Matt Stolboff and CB Garrett. How you guys doing out there?
Great, how are you?
Doing pretty good, especially because my Steelers are taking down the Ravens tomorrow. So that should be real fun to watch.
That's an opinionated statement that will prove to be wrong, but that's okay.
All right, we'll talk about that more later on the show.
I think that's the battle of this. That's the second worst teams, obviously behind Arizona and Carolina. But continue.
Again, debatable because the Bengals and Colts are playing, but nonetheless, like us on Facebook
Colts are a good team.
Like us on Facebook at Jersey Boy Sports Talk with Nick Bogatis, CB Garrett, and Matt Stolboff. Follow us on Twitter at JB Sports Talk. Follow all us on Twitter. You know the drill. So to start off the show, we had a pretty exciting day of football yesterday. I got to work the whole time, so I didn't catch most of it. But
there was football on yesterday?
Did you miss college football yesterday, CB?
No, I forgot about that.
CB's still recovering from what, 5 concussions he had in 2 weeks?
More like 6 or 7. No, I think we're better now. But we'll
okay. See. So anyway, we had Ohio State taking down Alabama. That was a thriller, the late game. And then we had Oregon beating FSU. More of that drama came after the game. But surprised, guys? CB, I know you picked Ohio State.
Yeah, I picked Ohio State and Oregon. I never really thought Florida State was that great of a team. They played so many close games against so many bad teams. Teams beating Boston College by 3 don't really jump out to me as good teams. Oregon had 1 loss on the year, and it was to an Arizona team that was ranked top 10 in the country at points of the year. I think they were number 10 going into the bowl season, and they ended up beating our team as well. This is a team that has a crazy good offense. They run as fast as they can. I just didn't think Florida State would be able to keep up with them, and they weren't. They had that one costly third quarter where they just kept turning the ball over, and it did them in. But I think we saw that Oregon was a superior team. Their offense is just built to keep going and going and going. It's almost like foolproof. It's to the point where I don't know if they actually can screw up. Mariota had that 1 interception in the end of the first half that really didn't lead to anything at all for Florida State. But that offense just keeps going and going. I actually kind of lean towards Ohio State because I'm sort of a Big Ten homer. But I just like the way the whole team plays. Beating Wisconsin by all the points that they did was impressive in my opinion, even with a quarterback who really isn't great, at least compared to what they've had with Braxton Miller and JT Barrett the past couple years and what they should have had now with him being a third-string quarterback. I just thought that was a very good team. And Ezekiel Elliott played great, and Lane Kiffin kind of blew that game. But that's beside the point. Ohio State still put up an impressive showing.
Yep. Oregon absolutely demolishing FSU 59-20. Now, I was the one for weeks. You guys always put FSU in your top 4. I for weeks said they don't deserve it. The amount, like you said, CB, the amount of close games they played against terrible teams, they don't deserve to be there. I would have much rather seen TCU play Oregon.
I'll give you the fact.
I still think.
Go ahead, Snowball.
I still think FSU should have been in the playoffs, definitely. In my opinion, because they were undefeated. There was no other undefeated team in the playoffs. They were the defending national champs. And they were in the ACC. It wasn't like we're talking about Marshall here in the MAC.
Whoa. Don't go trashing Marshall there. They're a pretty good team this year.
But you know what I mean? FSU undefeated. I don't care how close it was. 6 times they won by 6 points or less.
Against unranked opponents. That's the big problem.
Okay, but you're still an undefeated team. No other team did that. So I think that Florida State still should have been in the playoffs, which is completely fair. And really, I thought Ohio State before this game should have not made the playoffs, and it should have been either Baylor or TCU. And Baylor did show us. TCU did show us that maybe they should have been in the playoffs.
I think if the Big 12 had a title game, TCU would have been in there. I think that's on the Big 12.
Yeah, I think the Big 12 title game not having that really did hurt them.
I agree, and that's why
I still don't understand why Big 12 wouldn't even have that, because it does create more ratings for the conference.
Yeah, and to say they dropped 3 spots, that's my problem. They dropped 3 spots in the last week without losing a game.
But I mean, Baylor had the more impressive win that TCU had earlier in the season. And obviously, they don't have enough members in their conference right now to have a title game, but that's something that they're going to need to get to at some point. And I think I'm going to agree with Matt that Florida State was probably not a top 4 team, but deserved to be in by merits of not losing the game in a power conference. Now, do I think that would I have rather seen TCU in the playoffs from the start? Oh, no doubt. I think they were a much better team and probably would have done better against Oregon. Now, that really would have been an entertaining game. TCU, Oregon, imagine a game like that. But I think it just more shows why we need 8 teams in the playoffs. Because
exactly.
You can't have 5 power conferences and yet only 4 teams. The best team from each conference deserves to be in this playoff. Now, I mean, because a lot of these teams aren't going to play a lot of high-level cross-conference games, and it really needs to have one member from each conference in this playoff, as well as a couple close teams who possibly deserve in. Like at TCU Baylor, when you can't really decide between the two, advanced metrics say TCU, head-to-head says Baylor, and then you have teams like, even like Michigan State, who are a very, very good team, certainly could be in the playoffs. I think it just more verifies the fact that we need an 18 college playoff, and I think that's what we're going to see in the next year or two.
Okay, so would you like to see it like the NFL have the conference winners and then a couple wild cards?
No, I like just top 8. I think that's fine.
I think that's fair too. So Snowball, I don't think we got to hear from you. Were you surprised by yesterday's results, and what were your big takeaways?
I mean, the first game, Oregon, not surprised, but Ohio State, you bet you bet I was. Florida State, it almost seemed like their luck just kind of ran out.
And they were lucky.
And, Oregon was really just pounding on them. And Florida State, usually some point of the game, they come back, and Jameis was frustrated. That tip pass interception, the fumble, which we don't know what happened there. No one knows. And,
the ghost fumble.
Just everything that went wrong, that could go wrong for Florida State went wrong. And Oregon just kept on pounding on the point, punishing Florida State for their mistakes. And, in those big games, Florida State, when you play those big conference teams, teams that are on your level, if you make a mistake, you will get punished for it. You might, in other games over the season, we've seen them get breaks. Team throws a pick or a fumble or just a turnover in general when they're down. Oregon, it's just not going to be the case. Mariota played great. Jameis was not terrible, but I'm not going to say he was terrible. I'm just going to say he was frustrated. Just things were not going his way, and he wasn't always making the smart decision. That fumble just made things 10 times worse.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play his best, but he wasn't getting a whole lot of help either, in fairness. Just an all-around poor effort from Florida State.
Oregon was the better team out there. They completely deserved it. I think that was just really the case. Florida State was just not on their level. They were just not they're just really not the same team that they were last year.
Absolutely right. So, do either of you expect Oregon to lose?
No, I think Oregon wins. I'm just going to always go – but watch Ohio State win, because I've gone against Ohio State like the past 3-4 weeks. Once JT Barrett got hurt, I've been going against Ohio State, throughout the whole stretch of their QB now. But they always seem to prove me wrong. I mean, I really thought Bama, once Bama scored that third touchdown, making it 21-6, I really believed that Bama was going to cruise on and it's going to be another Oregon-Florida State game. But no, I mean, a couple of trick plays here or there for Ohio State. They surprised us all, came back. Blake Sims made a couple mistakes, and we see Ohio State in the national championship. Now, could that happen in Mariota? Possibly, but Mariota, as we all probably agree, is a better QB than Blake Sims. So maybe he won't make the same mistakes that Blake Sims did.
And he's way better than Cardale Jones.
Yeah. And Cardell Jones, as we saw in the beginning of the game, was really sloppy. Just could not. Their first touchdown was from Spencer. I forget his first name right now, because they knew that Cardell was not having a great day throwing the ball at that point in the game. And I think Oregon will. I think Alabama's defense is better, but Oregon can definitely punish Cardell for his mistakes, like they did for Jameis. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Are we gonna make predictions next show? I guess.
Well, I mean, you can give it to us now. I don't think we have a line yet, though.
Okay. Well, I think Oregon's gonna win, and CB, I think you probably agree as well. It's just power offense. Mariota cannot seem to be stopped. He threw that one pick, which is like the 5th of the season, I think I saw, and he's almost a perfect player. So I'm going Oregon.
CB?
Yeah, Nick, I actually did see a line out at about, I think it's like sitting at 7 right now. I think with that line, I would take Oregon. They're 7-point favorites. I'd still take Oregon. I don't see how anyone can stop that offense. Joey Bosa is great for Ohio State, but that tempo
and I just don't think, Bama really did make a lot of mistakes. Blake Sims threw that pick. Did we have a fumble? Yeah, we had I think one fumble. Just a lot of mistakes from Bama, and Ohio State was able to capitalize. It may not be the case with Oregon, because they're a team that's ready. Mariota is the leader. He is the leader of that school pretty much now.
He's the leader of the country.
King of the school, king of every state except Ohio. Even Washington D.C., because Obama's from Hawaii, supports Mariota.
Let's not bring politics into this show now.
Yeah, that was a bad move. But anyway, right. I think Oregon's going to take this one and take it easily.
I think it might be actually a really bad BCS National Championship. And I think the last big blowout that I can remember was when Colt McCoy got hurt against Texas.
That wasn't even a close game, though.
Yeah, but you knew the whole time that Bama was going to win.
That's true.
But see, this game, I think it's probably going to be closer than people. A lot of people think that this game's not going to be very close. I think it's going to be kind of close. I think Oregon's going to pull away at the end.
The running game on Ohio State is really, really good. I like their running back. He was phenomenal.
I just don't think they can pass the ball, though. That's the only problem.
That's my issue. It took Cardell a long time to get, comfortable, or I don't know, because they had two goal line chances that they failed both times, had to go for field goals, and they were just kind of lucky that they got a couple turnovers. I mean, luck, you don't know if you're going to get lucky against Oregon. It's just, I think that's the case.
All right, so we'll have final predictions next week when we got the official line there. Right now the consensus seems to be Oregon, but we'll see if anything changes. We know this is college football and anything can happen. But next up, CB actually brought this story to my attention. Apparently it's been blowing up on Twitter. But Rajon Rondo, as we all know, has been traded to the Dallas Mavericks, and he was talking about his time in Boston because they played the Celtics tonight. And
he's doing pretty well, actually, right now. I'm looking. He hit 4 threes, Rondo, and a half. 4 threes by Rajon Rondo. When does that happen?
Yeah,
this is Rajon Rondo we're talking about.
Is he shooting like 20% from 3 this year?
I'm going to look it up right now, but he was killing it.
He has 22 points right now. He started off the
3-point line from behind the arc. He's 9 for 15 total.
Wow.
He started off the game 6 for 6. The Mavericks' first 10 points. It's 22 points right now.
22 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He's scoring. It's not like he's having that 10 triple-double day right now.
But they are up, I believe, 13 right now. So,
yeah,
but continue, Nick.
Okay, so anyway, well, I'm going to let you talk about this mostly. But basically, Rajon Rondo said he hasn't been playing defense for the past couple of